All right, today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a truck check. Not so much on my truck, because mine is a dual cab BT50 with leather interior, and let's be honest, it doesn't get used too much. A lot of people get excited and they start their business. They're like, oh, I'm going to get the dual cab, I'm going to get the four-wheel drive, I'm going to get the turbo diesel, I'm going to get the SR5 and whatnot, and put muddies and go forward driving and have a truck for their work and their weekends. I know what you're thinking, but you're thinking like, well, I'm going to have a truck that I can take forward driving on the weekends, plus I can use it for work. Bad choice, bad decision, and I'll tell you why. Unpopular opinion, but it's the truth. Now, the reason why we don't recommend having a truck for four-wheel driving and a truck for work is because it's going to be super impractical working out of a dual cab. Secondly, it's never going to be the ideal setup for the weekends, and it's never going to be the ideal setup for work. So yes, I know what you're thinking. You're like, but I can get one truck to service both activities, which in theory makes sense, but in reality, it does not. So let's go through the one that we're selling today. Quick check. All right, so mate, get a load of this. Pristine. All right, so yes, it's stick. Now, fun fact about Spyro, every single truck I have purchased, these ones, my other ones, of course, I have not test driven a single one. I refuse to test drive it. Why? It's going to influence my decision. I'm looking for a car for work, so test driving it, I'm not going to test drive it and be like, oh, well, no, this doesn't drive well. Then I've got me thinking, it's like, let's look at the other side of the spectrum. Like, let's say you're going to buy a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, or let's say BMW M4, C63 AMG, let's say like a sports car of some sort. Are you still going to test drive that? Because like, are you telling me you know more than the engineers at Lamborghini, at BMW, at Mercedes? Do you know more? Like, how insulting. Yeah, I need to test drive it to see if it's a good car. Like, bro. Anyway, that's just my mindset. So if it's a brand new car, I don't think I'd ever, yeah, I can't see a reason why to test drive it. The back here was all designed for an electrician, and we had a lot of thought that went into it. So basically we put all of these here for your roller cases, so screw case, your data case, and your switch met case and whatnot, and your testing equipment here, as you can see, voltmeter. Then it would have all the stock on this side here, as well as your tools there as well. So your tool bag and your power tools. Now here, we didn't just fluke this gap here. We wanted to make sure that we could fit a stove, an upright stove. And you have the cooktop and the oven in one. Reason being is we're doing a lot of real estate and strata work, things of that nature, where we would be replacing a lot of appliances. So we wanted to make sure that we could put the new one in there with the box and everything, plus dispose of the old one and just throw it in the back here. That's why you can probably see it, but she's solid, mate. The reason why we also opted for, this is the other side, same sort of thing, just a bit more simple. The reason why it was so good was because of the height requirements. It's a lot better than a van in that sort of, there's pros and cons in both. We're running all vans at the moment, but for the height requirements, when you're working in the city or a lot of basements and you're doing a lot of stuffs in apartment blocks, the heights and parking can be very tough. So that's why we actually purchased this vehicle for that reason, and it served us very well. Like if I do some quick math on this, how much has this ute here allowed us to produce? So each one of our trucks does $500,000 a year. We've had this vehicle here for 6 years. So this vehicle here has actually generated us $3 million worth of revenue. This bad boy right here. What a beast. Even more so of a reason to have a weekender and a workhorse, because focus on work. These are a lot of people go wrong. I see it every day, and I'm going to put the sunnies on, not to look cool, but it's actually really bright out here, right? So I see it every day and I'm sick of it. People have got their priorities completely wrong. They'll buy the 79 series, they'll buy the SR5 before they buy this beast here, which will produce them over $3 million. But look, it doesn't flex, it doesn't have muddies, it doesn't have it doesn't have an exhaust system, it doesn't have all of that other stuff that you want to show off on the weekends with, right? Unpopular advice, I know, you're gonna hate me saying it, but the reality is, this is what you need as a workhorse, right? You need something that's going to be reliable, serve you each and every day. And if you want a weekender, have a separate weekender. And I know people are going to say, oh, but that's 2 cars, 2 regos, 2 insurances. $3 million, fruck, produced. Start thinking about being an electrical business owner and not an electrician that's running a business. There is a difference. We'll be I'll be doing a van checks of the boys as well. So this is the one that we're letting go, and I'll be showing you guys through the other trucks that we're currently still using, and let's see how they are. All right, quick truck checks for these bad boys here. Both Hyundais. One's a Staria, the other one iLoad 2018 001 Ollie. This was the first iLoad we purchased actually. This one is absolutely stock to the top because this is our main installer's truck. So he carries a lot more stock than our service guys. So you'll see here, there are breakers, quickies, everything's labeled as it should be. You got your RCBOs, or your safety switches here, your switch gear there, and four foot ladder there. But inside the truck here, it's all designed for maximum peak performance. We've got guys that sell and do, and then other guys that just do. So service techs and install techs, or sales techs and install techs, whatever you want to call it. But it's looking pretty good. Everything should be labeled. Everything is in there and following our inventory. Now, I think the first 3 trucks that we purchased had both sides done, both sides fitted out, but we don't do that now, and I'll show you what we do now. So it carries a lot of stock, but moving forward we opt against it, and I'll tell you why in a second. But here's the inside's looking fresh, nice and clean, the way it should be. Why? Because if you've got a clean truck, you've got a clean mind and a clean day and clean work environment. So that is needed, looking good. Nice. Now the next truck check. So this is so we had 001, which was the first one we purchased, and is 004 OLY. The reason why we actually are big on the number plates is because when you've got you know, when you start going 3, 4, 5, 6 trucks plus, it makes it easier just for registration purposes. That's the main thing. Now let's have a look here. This one is a little bit different, right? And this is the Hyundai Staria. The reason why it's a little bit different is it's only got one side of shelving, and moving forward we only do one side of shelving instead of 2. And I'll let you guys know exactly right now is because we want this, and as you can see here, this has a lot less stock than Tommy's vehicle, and there's a reason for it. We've got a strict inventory here. That's the inventory. But basically the reason why we have that inventory, oh, it's a bit dark, let me open another door. Everyone that's a 7-figure Sparky member gets a copy of this inventory here, so it's easily seen. Yes, you can make it digital. Yes, you can have apps to do it, but guys, as a bare minimum, have it like this. It works just fine and it doesn't break down, right? It's old school, it's basic, but it works. And as you can see here on the shelves here, it's a lot less stock, right? And the reason for that is the service techs or sales techs don't require as much stock, right? They don't need to carry as much stock, and that we would like to run as lean as possible because you don't want to be carrying around dead stock, and dead stock is dead money, right? So everything that you saw in the other truck will get done within the week. All of that material will get done within the week, gone. Which might seem crazy because there's quite a bit of stock in there, right? But that's how we do it. We do it. We don't keep things. If things aren't going to be turned over within the week, we don't keep it in the truck. Have enough stock that will get you through the jobs and not going to the supply, because that's, again, inefficient. Callbacks, going to the supplier and all that, you lose money and you decrease efficiency when you do that. So what you want to do is follow the inventory and then carry light stuff, like, you know, 1 gangs, 2 gangs, GPOs, 3 gangs, 4 gang switches, switch mechs, things of that nature. You want to have that. So just basic stuff, service fuse links, all of that. So you want to have that stuff there, so if the job's, you know, within 2 hours or thereof, you can do it and get it done on the spot. But if the job's larger than 2 hours, then of course you book it in for another day, and then you obviously do a purchase order to your supplier so you can get the stock specifically for that job. So that's that. And then of course you got all the power tools going there, and happy days. And we actually want to make sure that our techs are carrying as minimal as possible and just following the inventory. The reason for that is, at scale, when you get more guys, what you'll find is, and no one likes to talk about it, and check out this interior of the Staria. But what you'll find is, when you start scaling up, you get a bigger team, more guys, you got to put systems in place. And as part of those systems, you've also got to think of worst case scenario, because even if you're a good dude, there are going to be staff that lie, cheat, and steal. Of course, there are consequences for when this happens, but you want to minimize this as much as possible. So that's why it's so important to have systems in place. In short, the reason why
Here, Your Highness.
Actually, Tommy, just real quick.
Just unzip your pants and I'll continue on.
Thank you for getting my ice long black. Now, just real quick. Why do we have only one side in this vehicle versus you've got two sides done of stock?
Just because I'm a mad cunt, bro. Straight out. Like, no one can do what I do. I'm one of a kind, so obviously, you know, with the amount of work I get done, I need all the stock. Bang. Get the job done. These cunts, they're peasants.
Can we not swear as much? Okay, but like, okay, but do people steal?
Fuck off, bro. What do you want? I want my vape.
Oh, no vaping inside the house.
No vaping, bro.
No vaping.
No vaping.
You'll have to. No. Okay, I'm gonna cut most of what was just said. Just real quick, what is the main reason, Daniel? Why do you have one side of shelving and Tommy has two sides of shelving?
Just to keep minimal stock. Tommy's was the first van to do it, so this was obviously newer. You've seen where we went wrong last time. Putting both shelves in, so we were having way too much stock. Stuff was just sitting in the van. Half the time it gets scratched up, so we couldn't even use it, so we'd have to go buy a new one anyway. And yeah, I
love that. And also what happens is when you have more shelving, turns out technicians just love to buy more stock to fill that shelving. Okay, and do people lie, cheat and steal, and do people steal stock?
Yeah, of course. That
happens, right? And there's of course consequences for that, so we need to make sure that we can police it, and the way we police it is with purchase order numbers, and that's why moving forward we would never ever have two rows of shelving in the truck. And when you see is the company doesn't build systems around you, it builds systems around the whole company and the weakest link. So if the weakest link is unable to do something and keep to a standard, then we build a system around it. And that's, I think, been a anyway, long story short, the Staria, how's the Staria drive? You like it?
Yeah,
you happy with it?
Yeah.
It's good?
Except the turbo's fucked.
This is also why you have to charge, because we've had, is it 2 or 3 turbos go? This year we've had 1 clutch go, 3 turbos.
Last year was clutch.
Last year was clutch. Okay, so 3 turbos, 1 clutch, and 3 windscreens? 3 cracked windscreens?
Well, you sorted 2, then some fuckwit truck pumped the rock at my windscreen this year, yeah.
Okay, so
it's right for a 3rd.
Try paying for new clutch, 3 turbos, 3 windscreens, charging $110 an hour. try pay for that, charging $110 an hour. See how many hours you'll need to work to pay for those turbos, clutches, and all of that. This is why you need to comes down not off by feeling, but off knowing your numbers. And guys, that's the vehicle wrap.